What's up, guys? I'm a broadcast. I'm a producer, a sound engineer, and I'm a beat architect. The story behind my name is one I find pretty interesting. I had gotten my first production opportunity in Ghana, and quite honestly, my production knowledge at the time, this is many years ago, was quite limited. It was the first time I was in a real studio, and quite honestly, I could not turn on most of the equipment, right? However, when I was able to Google and figure it out, I hooked up my laptop and I was playing beats for the artist who was Ghanaian. And he kept saying, bro, that means you be big producer for Nigeria, you bad. You could be a gun for Nigeria. And it kind of stopped because my name was cast up to that point. And I really liked the Egbon thing, and so I just kept it. So I became an Egbon cast. And then the Egbon thing also became a reminder to me that, because at that point I felt like, oh, I don't have a lot of knowledge, I don't have a lot of skill, why would anybody want to work with me? However, it was a reminder that you, at where you are, there's somebody who actually looks up to you. So you need to carry yourself with a respect that justifies the confidence that person has in you. So that's why Egbon cast. It's not because of arrogance. I have a bit of pride. Exciting, fun, and beautiful. Yeah, those are the three best words I can think of. I think is the question. My process is really simple, right? I get an idea of what I want the beat to sound like, either from the mood I'm in, or either the artist has an idea, or from something I've listened to that inspires me to want to create. I get that idea, I move to my workstation. Shout out to FL Studio users, any producers will understand. I go to FL, I make the beats. Sorry, don't shoot me, FL gang. However, when I'm done making the beats in FL, I move the stems from FL to Logic Pro to mix, because I do all my mixing in Logic Pro. And then once I've mixed the beats, we can now move to recording and everything else. But it's really just getting the idea first. What do I want to make? What do I want it to sound like? Am I sampling today? Am I playing melodies from scratch? And then just pretty much go from there. Quite honestly, I learned a great deal of what I know as a producer now from YouTube. So I really can't do it on my phone. But if I have to give a more technical answer, then FL Studio, I think, is one of the best digital audio workstations ever made. And FL literally saved my life. So shout out to FL. Being an architect of sound to me means being a producer. It means it is my duty and responsibility and privilege at the same time to take the sound from an idea in the artist's head to something that you, the listener, can enjoy, right? That's what that means to me. I'm the person that actually builds what you hear, I know that you would expect me to answer this with mainstream artists, but quite honestly, I'm working with the artists that I'm most excited to do projects with. I'm working with Hova, I'm working with IP The Sound, I'm working with Joseph Fassien, who's a gospel artist, really fantastic. I believe on building at my level, right? And these guys are incredibly talented, and I think when we come together, we do make music that is capable of changing the trajectory of our careers. That to the side, if we're talking the big guys, I would absolutely love to work with SDC. Not because I think I can make something that Sparks cannot make. I would just love to hear what they sound like on my beats. I would love to work with Dwayne the Stoic. I enjoy his music really much. I really enjoy his music. And he makes phenomenal music with his producer Rafi. Shout out to Rafi. But again, I would just love to hear how he sounds on my beats. Who else? I think I'd love to work with OBO. He has a knack for picking very good beats. And don't get me wrong, this does not mean, I only enjoy his music. I love Wizkid, I love Burna Boy. But Davido has a thing for picking beats. It would interest me for me to play a beat pack for him and see which ones he chooses. So yeah. I was still in the university at the time, I think 300 or 400 level, and I didn't even have a setup at the time. I just had laptop and headphones. However, I got the idea after making one beat that I really liked, and at the time was such a banger, but right now I probably laugh at it. But I got the idea there was this artist who we lived in the same space, shout out to Kevin. And I played the beat for him and I was like, bro, I made this with you in mind, and I think the beat is phenomenal and it would sound even better with your vocals on it. And I winding, and I made my first sale. It was 5,000 naira. I didn't believe, even me that asked him for the money, I didn't believe when he gave me the bread. But yeah, that's how we started. And I ended up making a lot of money that way because I just kept DMing around the artists and saying how far I have amazing beats and I think this one was made for you specifically. Listen, you like it, reach out to me, let's work. And it worked. And we've gone from that to here. It's really, we thank God. I think what makes my production style different from other producers is that I speak artists fluently. My journey in music started as an artist, and artists have a peculiar way of communicating that most producers find a little difficult to understand. Well, not most producers, shall, but it can be difficult to understand. But as someone who kind of gets how an artist's mind works, it makes communication very fluid and easy, and frankly just makes the whole production process very seamless. Because of that, my production style complements the artists in the best way possible. I intend to make my brand memorable by one, delivering evergreen records consistently. I'm not one of those people who is just in music for the money. I genuinely love what I do. I love the people I'm building with, and all of the artists I'm building with are people that I believe make music that will stand the test of time. That's kind of one of the prerequisites I have for working with the artists that I work with. Like, we have to make really good music. So I know the music will make the brand memorable. And then just outside of the music, the Egbon brand is one that people know. If you have on your team, you're having somebody who can wear many hats, right? I have quite an array of skill sets that I bring to the table. And being a producer doesn't just mean you get a beat from me or you get a mix from me. I know how to do a bunch of other things outside of that. I consistently do a bunch of things outside of that for the artists that I work with. So they kind of know that when you're working with me, you're working with a one-stop shop, meaning you're working with somebody who has a fair enough knowledge of all of the services and people that you need to interface with in the industry, from graphics to ads to planning campaigns and rollouts and all of that. And I do step in occasionally to help out with all of those. So my brand will be memorable for the impacts that I make on artists, not just the music. It's the actual impact. And you can check the artists that I work with. Go and verify. So energetic, emotional are feelings, right? And my beats kind of vary depending on what I am feeling. But the one consistent thing is that my beats are fairly experimental. I'm always trying to push the boundaries of what is normal so that I can sound distinct, but still play within the rules also. So for the emotions, that varies. If I'm feeling happy, I'll make a beat that feels happy. If I'm feeling sad, I might make a beat that feels sad. That changes from beat to beat. But what is consistent is the experimental side of it. I will always try something new, always. Even if it's a little thing, I will always try something new. I think if my sound was a building, it would look like an underground tunnel that is a rave with many different rooms, right? So in one room, you would have the backpack boom bap hip hop lovers just enjoying some Wu-Tang and J Dilla and all of that. And in another room, you'd have the piano people going akuchu, chu, chu. In another room, you would have just different genres of music because again, I'm quite multifaceted as is my sound. I think a great beat is one that accurately conveys the feeling and idea of the artist and gives the artist room to breathe and express themselves in the best way possible. It's not about technicalities, it's not about the decibels or the LUFS. It's really not about all of those. It's not about how many instruments you put in it. Shout out to Forty, Drake's producer, because he's the person I learned that from watching. He makes sure that the beats allow you enjoy the artist. No matter how good the beat is, it has to allow you enjoy the artist. So that's something that I always keep in mind when I'm creating for the artists that I work with. Thank you.